welcome to the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East. Today is Tuesday, August 27th. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate it. We have a jam-packed show coming up for you. I'll tell you about that in just a second, but first I want to let you know how you can find the show. We're at WNCT.com under the East Daily Download tab, and we're also on social media. See right here on this list, and you can find us at the hashtag East Daily Download. Send us pictures and videos. We'd love to see all that great stuff. Now, coming up today, we are going to profile a museum that is currently featuring retired East Carolina University professor artwork. Marquise Mida from WNCT-9 First Alert Meteorology has two great passions in his life. One is weather, one is fitness, and he's combining them for you in what we're calling Weathering Fitness. We're going to go out to the Ronald McDonald House for part 2 of our 5-part series, showcasing the importance of this organization to Eastern North Carolina. But right now, I think we need some food. You agree with me? Down Eats is coming up. We're going to Tarboro on the Square. Let's hit the road.
This is On the Square restaurant. We're located in downtown Tarboro. We've been running this restaurant for 16 and a half years. I met my wife in Manhattan. We were both working as sommeliers, or wine stewards, and she's from Tarboro. And we ended up moving back here in 2002. And we purchased the restaurant from Francis Liverman, who still works with us. And at the time it was a casual sandwich shop open for breakfast and lunch. And then we kind of over time transformed it into what it is today.
I really hated to sell it because I didn't want to get rid of it, but then when I did, it just meant a lot that I could still have it in my life and be part of it.
We serve lunch Monday through Friday.
Thank you.
And then we do dinner Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night with full service, linen, tablecloths.
The food is good. That's always number one. I've been a customer here since before it was on the square, when Francis owned this place. You get to know the people that work here and they become your friends.
But it makes you feel good when they keep coming back because you know that we're doing something right. The customers just really like that personal attention.
One of the things we're known for is fresh fish. All these fish that if you fish in North Carolina, you love to catch them. We love to eat.
Everything is fresh. A lot of the vegetables and produce comes from a local farm.
If you're not familiar with the town of Tarboro, we're minutes from the highway in the middle of Rocky Mount, Greenville, and Wilson.
Amazingly, people will pull off the highway and say they've heard about On the Square and stop to eat here in little old Tarboro.
A menu that changes every 2 weeks, featuring seasonal, local ingredients as much as possible.
For lunch, I like the grilled chicken and the salads. They are just extraordinary.
We have almost 500 labels on our wine list, so I think we're bringing, as much exposure as we can to the Eastern North Carolina wine equation. Restaurants are a pretty tough business. In a small town, that exacerbates things a little bit, when you're trying to survive. You really need that support from the community, and they've done a great job of that since day one.
Now downloading Tech Beat Tuesday.
From the apps we download to the stuff we buy online, it's all supposed to make life easier, or at least a little more fun. But how many of us actually know where it's all coming from?
I think it's common sense. I think everybody should know where products are made.
Florida Senator Rick Scott says his Prime Act would make it easier to find that out.
And what it's going to require is online retailers to tell you the origin of the products they sell.
Recent revelations that the popular Face app was actually developed in Russia set off alarm bells. Scott says it's a reminder that consumers need to know where their money and their data is going to make informed choices.
The first thing I assume Americans are going to say is, boy, if I'd known it was made in America, I'd want to buy that.
The Prime Act would also require app sellers to disclose the countries where the app developer, publisher, and parent corporation are all based.
Many products come from China. They're not labeled at all.
Consumer advocate Ed Merzwinski says most consumers have no idea where their products come from or how much data some apps can mine.
The biggest questions you should ask about your apps are what information is your app collecting and where is it sending it?
He says it's less about where the data is going and more about why it's going there.
Regardless of whether it's going to Russia or whether it's going to Silicon Valley to some developer in the United States, they're collecting too much information.
Information some in Congress say you have a right and responsibility to protect. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
Welcome back to the East Daily Download here on Eastern North Carolina CW. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate it. We have a lot of stuff still to come in this episode. We're going to go and we're going to profile a museum that's showcasing retired East Carolina University professors' artwork. Marquise Mita from WNCT-9 First Alert Meteorology has two great passions, weather and fitness, and he's going to showcase how he's putting those two things together in what we're calling weathering fitness. I'll let him explain further. But right now we're going to go to the Ronald McDonald House for part 2 of our 5-part series showcasing the important work this organization does. Let's hit the road to the Ronald McDonald House right now.
My name is Katie Hall, and I am the Director of Marketing and Volunteer Services here at the Ronald McDonald House. In 2018, we had over 6,000 volunteers, and volunteers really are the heart of our house here. They do everything from greeting families at the door, answering the telephone, baking sweet treats for our families, putting away donations, and even turning rooms over once a family checks out. So volunteers do a wide range of things for us. We do have 2 houses here in Greenville. So we have our house here, our main house on Moy Boulevard, and then we also have our house across the street inside the James and Connie Maynard Children's Hospital. And they pretty much do the same thing over there that they would do here. So volunteers really are able to talk with our family, sit down, do puzzles with them, and restock for them. If they need to take a shower, they can get those toiletries for them. So it's just one less thing that they have to worry about. So the first step to volunteer is to go on our website. You go to rmhenc.org, and you can find a blue volunteer button up at the top, and you just click that. There's a volunteer application. You can also come by our house anytime and pick up a paper volunteer application to turn into us. It's a very quick and easy process to get started. Once we do that, we go through a background check, and it only takes about a week or 2 to get you actually in our house. Behind me, this is our Wall of Hope. So these are all families that have stayed with us here in the past. So we have many families that have stayed here in the 32 years that we have been here. And they like to send us pictures after they've gone. They come back and visit us to see what we're doing, what's going on. And they give us these pictures to post. And it's just a really great thing to show new families that are coming through. Our volunteers get to see who they are supporting. It means a lot to these families that are behind me. So it is just an incredible thing that we get to walk past every day.
More than 400,000 people visit Cape Lookout National Seashore a year, but certain beaches are inaccessible to visitors due to a large amount of sea turtle nests. This season, Cape Lookout National Seashore is seeing a boom in sea turtle nests. So far, they've seen 470 nests in the area and are expecting more. It is a record-setting number compared to the 352 nests in 2016. Some officials attribute this to conservation efforts from 20 to 30 years ago. By the end of May, there were 82 nests compared to only 10 in May of 2018. Officials say it is exciting to see the nests because most of the time they're in the water.
While we have the greatest amount of nests in North Carolina that I'm aware of, if you go south of here down to Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, what we have going on here is child's play.
There's also been an increase in shorebird nests. Officials say Hurricane Florence improved nesting habitats for the animals. Resource managers don't have a date as to when the closed beaches will reopen. At Harker's Island, Camila Barco, 9 on your side.
How about a butterfly? A pink one, maybe. Or I could do a unicorn, a ladybug, a baby kitten. Your boyfriend's name inside a little heart.
Busy night tonight.
Everybody in here wants the same thing.
Hey, welcome back to the East Daily Download here on Eastern North Carolina CW. Again, thank you for joining us. You can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Use the hashtag East Daily Download. We'd love to see pictures, videos. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to profile a museum that's showcasing the artwork of retired East Carolina University professors. But right now, Marquise Mita from WNCT-9 First Alert Meteorology is going to showcase and present his two great passions. Just take a look. He'll explain.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the very first segment of Weathering Fitness. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Marquise Mita, and I like to consider myself a full-time meteorologist and a part-time exercise enthusiast. What we would like to do with this series is combine the best of my very two favorite worlds, that being the applied science of meteorology and also the blood-pumping thrill of exercise and fitness. Woo. All right, so for this first episode, we're going to be discussing how summertime temperature spikes can affect your body's ability to burn fat. If you work out year-round, one thing you may notice as the weather starts to warm up is the amount of people partaking in physical activity. You don't need to be a meteorologist to realize that people prefer to work out when the skies are clear, flowers are blooming, and your wintertime attire is stuffed away in the attic. You'll see this similar trend in nature as well. Forest animals come out of hibernation. Your dog begins to shed his fur. And we humans begin to ponder if we need to work on our summer bodies. But how do these warm spring and summertime temperatures affect your body's ability to burn fat? The answer lies in your body's ability to cool itself. While exercising, the human body releases heat through the evaporation of sweat. In order to get those sweat glands activated, your body needs to work hard to pump blood to the skin. Therefore, the higher the temperature of the air surrounding your body, the harder your heart will have to work to pump a sufficient amount of blood to the skin to produce perspiration. Simply put, your heart will have to work overtime in hotter temperatures than cooler ones, which provides an increase in calorie and fat burn. To back the study up with science, a 2002 publication called Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise concluded that cyclists working out in colder temperatures led to decreased fat burn. So know that if you're working out on a hot summer day, one, you're burning more fat and calories, but two, all the while you're losing water. So it's of the utmost importance to stay hydrated. For the East Daily Download, I'm Marquise Mita.
You have this great iconic American brand and this thing that is representative of something that sits in our soul, that's created by the coming together of two families, an unlikely partnership.
That partnership was an open secret in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
It's kind of the same family.
William Hussey Jr. is a member of the Tennessee Squires, a Jack Daniels fan club of sorts.
You believe in this brand so much, you've like literally inked it on your skin.
Yes, and this one here is the Jack Daniels, like the barrel house and different barrels. And this is my newest Uncle Nearest, which is a piece of Jack Daniels history.
This has changed the story that folks in these parts have been living with most of their lives. How are they dealing with it?
Well, I would say about 95% has understood and have accepted it. But I think there's still the 5% of old Southern boys who could care less, would like to keep everything hidden.
He's become an unlikely ambassador for Uncle Nearest, another steward of the story, as author Fawn Weaver likes to say.
Every single time you take that sip, you should be telling the story of Nearest. That's how we make sure that his legacy is not only cemented, but it continues on beyond us to the next generation.
I wish my grandmother could see this. I do. I am Nearest Green's great-great-granddaughter.
Victoria Edie Butler says the idea to make a whiskey bearing her ancestor's name came first from a member of Jack Daniels' family, and then from her own.
Fawn was like, what can we do to keep Nearest Green's legacy alive? And one family member said, put his name on a bottle.
3 of Nearest Green's descendants still work at the Jack Daniels distillery.
They were solidly behind you in this discovery mode of who Uncle Nearest was. You're their competition now, aren't you?
I do not consider myself competition whatsoever. When we go out into the marketplace, we are selling Uncle Nearest, but we are talking about Jack in a way that makes you want to drink Jack Daniel as well.
An unlikely friendship, an iconic American brand, and now a legacy that can never be forgotten.
What happens when everything we know about something changes?
This is a story that unifies us. And I think we so desperately need that now. We forever will be in this thing together. And that's the story of Nathan Nearest Green, Uncle Nearest, and Jack Daniel.
Sharmia Dixon makes eyeglasses for veterans.
This is where I polish the lenses.
Even though she lost her own vision to glaucoma.
It's giving me more independence, more confidence.
But Dixon's job and more than 100 others at this North Carolina lab are in jeopardy.
I don't want a pity party, but I mean, it's harder for blind and visually impaired to find employment.
David Horton runs IFB Solutions, the nation's largest employer of people who are blind or visually impaired.
Hey, Bobby, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
All right, buddy. We have a lot of people who are dependent on their jobs here, and this is the first real challenge that we have really had.
The nonprofit is at risk of losing its contract with the Department of Veterans Affairs following a court decision on the Rule of Two. That policy stipulates the VA must give precedence awarding contracts to veteran-owned small businesses over other programs like theirs called Ability One.
The workers here at IFB Solutions make about 1,200 eyeglasses a day, but sustaining that volume would be a huge challenge if the company has to lay people off.
If we lose, all of our optical business with the VA, we're starting from scratch with an empty lab, and all these people will not have a job.
Zero glasses.
0 glasses a day.
Horton says if it comes to that, he'll look for ways to transfer workers to other divisions, making everything from military equipment to scissors.
The sky's the limit. Seeing that just fuels my fire to fight to keep people employed.
The company is also enlisting help from lawmakers. Several sent a letter to the VA secretary asking the department to cease attempting to take away any current contracts. In a statement to CBS News, the VA responded, if Congress wants to change the federal laws it has set that govern this process, it can choose to do so.
I truly hope that they consider keeping this contract for us so we can show them that we're worth it.
Something Dixon hopes Washington will see. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
ECU is celebrating the 110th anniversary of art education in a special way. They're giving former teachers the spotlight.
Well, the Retired Faculty Exhibition is one of 3 exhibitions that we have going on that started last year. So last year we had the In Memoriam. This summer we have the Retired Faculty Exhibition, and then next summer/fall we're going to have an exhibition of alumni work.
Inside of the Gray Gallery at the Fine Arts Center is artwork ranging from paintings, mixed media, photography, sculptures, textiles, metal designs, and more. The exhibition pays tribute to the contributions from those who have worked at the university.
We do want people to come in. It's a free gallery. We want people to come in, see what's on the walls, to participate, ask questions, and to learn, to see what type of art is available, what type of art is out there. You can come in, you can walk around the building, see what people are making, and ask questions of what's going on in classes.
Current faculty wants this exhibit to incorporate what's been taught in the past so ECU students can see what they're learning from and what the foundations of the school are. One of the curators shares what her favorite part of this exhibition is.
Just hearing the stories and hearing what things were like when they started working here and how much things have changed, not only in the School of Art, but in Greenville itself.
Faculty, ECU students, and the whole community has the opportunity to visit the Gray Gallery for the Retired Faculty Exhibition reception in September. In Greenville, Ariana Kraft, 9 on your side.
Oh, hey, we're back. Thanks for joining us today on the East Daily Download. It is Just Because Day, and just because I guess they like me, Anissa and Lauren got me these lovely flowers. So get somebody you know flowers or a card, or just do something nice for them today, because it's Just Because Day. And just because we love you at home, we want to invite you to come back tomorrow for the East Daily Download. We hope to see you again and see you really soon. And I'm going to go back to appreciating these flowers. So thank you, Anissa and Lauren. Coming up Wednesday when we hit the road on the East Daily Download. Class is in session when WNCT-9 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson introduces us to this week's Weather Kid. We're going back to the Ronald McDonald House for part 3 of our series focused on the great work the organization does for families and how they truly make a difference. Plus, we'll take a behind-the-scenes look at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Entertainment Tonight. And we'll have Q&A with AQ, Angie Casada. All that and a lot more on Wednesday's The East Daily Download here on Eastern North Carolina's CW.